Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Great to see you. It always is. I hope you're doing well. We move into day 2 over in Wimbledon. As always, we'll be sure to go through each and every one of these matches for today. Be sure to get your predictions in the comments. Anything I'm going for personally will be in that pinned comment. Make sure you're having a look at that every day. We'll waste no time with it. If you like the video, get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're new, I'd appreciate that. If you want to support the channel, there is a link in the description and the pinned comment. Do not feel obliged. It's only if you want to. But now that's out the way, first things first, how did we manage in day 1? I'll tell you what a day. What a day. It just seemed to be upset after upset, did it not? I thought it was just me, with the likes of Zhukayev and Talon Greeksport letting me down. No dice, unfortunately, but you'd take a look around. I was more surprised with the likes of Medvedev, Popperin, Holger, obviously Bergs, Greeksport. Taylor Fritz struggled. That's been postponed. He went 2 sets down. Zverev was struggling as well. I've just seen them finish that one off. Even Carlos Alcaraz, I didn't see him struggling as much as he did against Fabio Fognini. Look, we're no stranger, certainly no stranger to these first rounds, but I can't remember. Have you ever seen an opening day quite like that? I don't think I have, but be sure to let me know. Did you win? Did you lose? Did you just come close? Most importantly, did you enjoy the matches? Surely you did. Surely you did. I mean, regardless of the results, whether they're the ones you wanted or not, you have to admit it makes for some entertaining viewing, nevertheless. But very well then, let's get it on. Day 2. First off, for us, we've got Alex Michelsen coming up against Kecmanovic. I'd probably lean towards Alex Michelsen in this one if I had to pick it. Currently clocking in around 1.4 on the decimal. They played each other twice before, both of them coming this year too. Once on the hard court, Kecmanovic got that done in Delray Beach. And then Michelsen got his done over on the clay in Portugal. Never played each other on the grass, as I've been saying all month. Always tends to make things that little bit more interesting. Now, evidently, both of these are more than capable of beating each other. I think Kecmanovic has got bags of experience. The ceiling of Alex Michelsen tends to seem to be a little bit higher every now and then. We could think it's safe to say that. With this being on the grass, I can't help but think it just nudges it into the direction of Alex Michelsen that little bit more. 1.4, I suppose it's not that bad. I'm just getting flashbacks of Zizou Berg prices today. I ended up getting fucking Zizou buns today. That's neither here nor there. I'm not saying Alex Michelsen's going to turn up and do that. He plays good on the grass. Even though Kecmanovic, 3-game losing streak. That's going back to the French Open as well. He's only played, is it 2 games? Yeah, just the 2 games on the grass, and he is yet to win one. Alex Michelsen has went 5-3 on the surface. Seems to be a little bit more trustworthy to me in this spot, so we'll leave that one there. And then we've got Cazaux and Adam Walton. Odds are pretty much identical on this one. You're getting Cazaux as the favourites. Head-to-head is 2-0 to the Frenchman in this. One of them coming, well, the very start of this year. Over in Adelaide, straight sets on the hard court, and then Phoenix Challenger last year. Roughly similar, tie-break and then 6-4. Straight sets in that one too. Adam Walton's currently on a 3-game losing streak. Cazaux, I mean, I ain't really seen much of this guy. To be fair, this season he's picked up a couple of injuries here and there, so it's a shame, innit? 9 wins, 11 losses on the season. Adam Walton, 27 wins to just the 20. Much better, much more consistent. We've seen a lot more of him, to say the least. I think Cazaux's only just started to look good over in qualifying. He's managed to get through it relatively unscathed as well. He's dropped just the 2 sets along the way. I think he should get past Adam Walton. I think this is primed for the over 3.5 sets. I really do. I wouldn't be picking it with much conviction. Clearly, Cazaux knows how to beat this guy. He seems to be playing, well, how much can we say? he does seem to be playing a little bit better than the Australian in the current day, so I probably would just lean with him on that one. Sorry, there's a fucking dog barking outside and it's completely putting me off. I am trying to just override it. Who's next? What, James McCabe? Fabian Marozsan? Ah, you'd look at it and you'd say Fabian Marozsan, wouldn't you? I'd say Fabian Marozsan in this one, although I was very, very concerned with what I was seeing last time out against Lorenzo Sonego. He didn't look too great, did he? Safe to say, if you turn up like that today over in Wimbledon, just going off what we had yesterday, you'll get your arse beat, and it doesn't really matter who you're playing or what the price is. James McCabe is on a 3-game winning streak. We say that they've had to come through qualifying, so it can be a little bit deceiving, but it still stands. Fairly decent opponents too compared to most, Bonagosho, Burichaga and Thomas Barrios-Vera. Not bad, not great, but not bad. Upset alert, potentially. I don't know. Marozsan, realistically, ideally, he should prove to be too much. The levels should show in this one, but I don't know, man. These dogs have most definitely turned up to play. Surely we're not going to get a repeat of what we had in day one. I wouldn't be too sure. But if for whatever reason we are to get a handful of upsets once again today, I don't think I'd be that surprised if Fabian Marozsan would, if he was to be amongst however many there's going to be. You've never played each other before, I don't really think it matters. Fabian Marozsan, 1.5. You do with that what you will, I suppose. The majority of these are like this today. They're either around 1.2, 1.3. Colossal favourites. There's the odd one or two that seems to be somewhat of a coin flip on the money, but we'll get to them very, very shortly. But I suppose the pick would be Fabian Marozsan in that one. Over 3.5, maybe. I don't know, you pick your poison. And then we've got Jamie Faria, Lorenzo Sonego. Speak of the devil, literally just been talking about him in the last one. I was very impressed with Sonego against Fabian Marozsan, but then he bumped into Hugo Humbert and he looked relatively bang average. He did. Does he get past Jamie Faria? Once again, like I say, looking at the price, and would it still be in the first round? Obviously, we're not gonna dive too deep into these. We've got to see who still wants to be here and who doesn't. And I imagine there's still a couple left that have slipped through the cracks that have yet to reveal themselves. Jamie Faria, same with the others, he had to come through qualifying. You'd look at the record and you'd say he's went 5-1 on the grass as opposed to 2-3 from Lorenzo Sonego. 3 of the 5 coming in qualifying for this. Zomba, Piros, Trungelliti and then Kiri and Jacquet. Once again, Sonego just should probably be winning this. He's solid enough. I know he doesn't really possess what's needed to be like top 20 level. I don't think he does anyway. It's not impersonal, but we know where we stand with the likes of Lorenzo Sonego. For someone like Jamie Faria, you're definitely going to have to bring it. Because Sonego will definitely punish you if you allow him to. I know there's a couple of Portuguese lads on the channel, and you'll definitely be cheering your boy on today. You know what? Just for your sake, I hope he gets it done. I do. Because he's fairly decent. He's decent enough anyway. Is he top 50 level? ATP top 50 draw level? I'm not quite sure just yet anyway. 15-13 on the season. I'd say he's alright. But we'll see. It'll surely be interesting. It really will. 1.3 for Sonego. Like I said on the last one, based off day one. A little bit hesitant to fire on such prices like that. So we will leave it where it is. And then we've got Tseng and Vukic. If you're wondering where all these big favourites are, I should have mentioned at the start. Same as yesterday. We'll wrap them up towards the end. You don't need me to tell you that Alex de Minaur should be beating Basilashvili on the grass. He's 1.01. Should be illegal, I know, but like I said, we'll round up the stragglers towards the end. Where were we? Tseng and Vukic. Probably go with Vukic, just based on what we know already. 1.2 is extremely steep for the likes of Alexander Vukic. This guy will most definitely ruin your day if you give him half the chance. 12 wins, 21 losses on the season. Absolutely not. Get the fuck out of here. 26 and 20 for Tseng. We just haven't seen nothing from him on the grass. 1 win and 5 losses in his career. It's going back to 2015. He played his first game in 2019. Seems to do the majority of his business, definitely most of the damage over on the clay. I think with Vukic beaten before 2019 probably doesn't mean much. It was quite an ass whipping back then too. Given the experience, given the game probably suiting the grass a little bit more, if not a lot more, than Tseng, I would definitely side with the Aussie in that one, but I most certainly wouldn't be taking him, not at 1.2, you're fucking mad. We've got Dan Evans and Jay Clarke. It's a proper British one, this, innit? Good old Dan Evans and Jay Clarke. These have played each other once before, back in 2020 in the... Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. The Battle of the Brits, is that what it's called? Of course, I completely forgot. Yeah, Dan Evans beat him 5 years ago, 6-3, 6-1. 1.2 for Dan Evans again, like, you see what I mean? It's crazy, innit? It's going to be like this until we get a little bit deeper into the tournament, so we're just going to have to laugh this off and grind through it. Jay Clarke, 5-game losing streak. Yeah, say something about that coming up against Dan Evans, who, as we've seen the past couple of weeks, is most definitely good to go on the grass. 6 wins, 4 losses for Dan Evans, 0-4 for Jay Clarke. Look, if you're going to beat Tommy Paul, you're going to beat this kid. Enough said. We'll move on. Who's next? This is probably the closest one according to the odds. We've got Jesper de Jong and Christopher Eubanks. Well. Good old Christopher Eubanks. If it isn't this guy back at Wimbledon, do you reckon this guy's going to go on a run like he did? Well, not last year. Was it the year before? 2023. It definitely went last year. I'd be surprised, but going off day one, maybe we should expect the unexpected a lot more in the next week or two. Christopher Eubanks was good, man. He was good. I remember watching this guy just pummel the shit out of people. He used to just grind people out. Like I say, last time I seen him, he was very good. Put in that surprise run. I don't know, like, they've played each other 2 times. Eubanks has won both of them back in 2021, so doesn't do much for us today over on the grass. Both of them on the hard court too. Jesper de Jong, 1 win and 4 losses on the grass so far this season. 1 and 2 for Eubanks. Now the odds are somewhat split right down the middle. You're getting Jesper de Jong around 1.8. I don't think this lad is comfortable on the surface. I really don't. 3-game losing streak, 1 to Laszlo Djere, 1 to Thomas Mahatch, and 1 to Bernard Thomas. Not too great. But I don't think I'll be picking him anyway. This is probably primed to go 5 sets. These Eubanks games were usually good for an over, although most of the recent ones have just been straight sets anyway. Seems to reside somewhat on the Challenger Tour more often than not. He's got more than what it takes to get past Jesper de Jong. I know he has. I just haven't seen anything from him. And it's not impersonal, and I could be wrong, it's just a theory of mine. I think ever since he served that ace to Jamie Foxx, something happened, something shifted in this guy's world, and he just went fucking right off a cliff. I don't know what's happened, but that was the turning point. I've pinpointed it, and I went back and I searched, and literally as soon as he done that, he went from putting in a run in Wimbledon to literally just getting meetings with Jamie Foxx. Oh yeah, Jamie Foxx wants to chill with you. All of a sudden, you can't win a fucking game. I don't know. That seems to be... That's just a brief overview of Christopher Eubanks, according to Paulie Sports anyway, but we'll stop arsing round. Over 3.5, probably goes over 4.5. Like I say, I think it's prime for 5 sets. Both of these just struggle it out. Struggle against one another. A set here, a set there. Can't see either one taking it in straights So you do with that what you will. And we shall crack on to Nicholas Basilashvili, Marab Dvalishvili, and Lorenzo Musetti. I'm a little bit worried for Musetti, although probably shouldn't be, and I wouldn't be at any other time of the year, but I haven't seen him on the grass so far this season. We haven't, have we? We haven't seen him play on the grass. Has he been injured since the French Open? Is he good to go? Is he still a bit fucking banged up? I'm not so sure, man. Anyone got any information regarding the fitness of the Italian, please do let me know. I feel like it'll be rather crucial come today. Basilashvili has flew through qualifying once again for another Grand Slam, and at this point I'm not really surprised. 9-0 in Grand Slam qualifying this year, 0-2 in the main draw. Yeah, it's the level for you, isn't it? That is most certainly the level. Now, providing Lorenzo Musetti is fully fit and good to go, there's not much doubt in my mind that he beats the likes of Basilashvili. I imagine we all agree on that one. Look, we've got to apply the same formula to this guy as what is applied to all of them. We've seen some guys have some rough transitions to the grass. And I mean, what a way to make your grass debut for the campaign anyway, to just come over to Wimbledon. And he could be good to go. He could be good to go. You know, the improvements this guy has made to his all-round game this year has been absolutely fantastic. We've all been well aboard the Musetti train all year, have we not? I think he can do it. I know he can do it. But if he turns up and looks like crap, I'd be absolutely devastated watching that. I really would. If we get a fit Musetti, which I'm hoping for, you're getting him around 1.35. That's probably as sound as a parlay piece as you're going to get today, as far as me being confident. Like I say, it all boils down to the fitness. It would. If these would have played each other earlier on in the year, any other tournament, you'd have took Musetti in a heartbeat and you most certainly wouldn't have got 1.35 odds. So maybe that tells us a small tale within itself. But maybe don't read into it too much, and we shall move on to we missed one. This one was before it, but it doesn't matter. We've got Xiami Munar and Alexander Bublik. It's going to be very hard to deny Alexander Bublik over the next week or two, providing he makes it past Xiami Munar. I'd imagine he's more than capable of doing that. They've never played each other before, to my surprise. Currently getting Alexander Bublik around 1.2. Now, we all said, didn't we? I know a lot of you in the comments have been fancying him. Maybe not for a title, but high expectations for Alexander Bublik coming into Wimbledon, and rightly so. I mean, he was fairly decent come the French Open, and then coming onto the grass as well. He's probably been one of the most, if not the most solid player since we've came onto the grass. 5-0. Say something about that. Munar 1-2. Although he's went 1-2. One of them losses to Gabe Diallo. Diallo's been flying on the surface. And then one to Carlos Alcaraz in Queens. And he gave him a very good go. He really did. There's never any shame in getting beat by him anyway, but certainly putting in a performance like that, it's a small victory within itself, nevertheless. I'd love to sit here, in an ideal world, I'd love to sit here and say, you know what, Munar, keep this close, although he doesn't really have that many great results, and he certainly has no notable ones on the grass. He doesn't play that bad on it. He just struggles to maintain whatever it is he can find. And especially coming up against someone like Bublik, I mean, you need to deal with that serve first. You need to deal with the serve, and even if you can, you need to deal with the power that comes afterwards. And not many can. And literally no one has been able to do that on the grass so far this year. Fucking hell, Yannick Sinner, Mahac, Kecmanovic, Medvedev, all of them have been smoked. He's munched all of them. Surely he should get past Xiami Munar, right? Surely he should be getting past Xiami Munar. 1.2, barely 1.2. If you're taking it. If you're doing a parlay, I imagine Bublik may be on it. I don't know. I say very, very steep prices today. Still got a lot of the outrights. The majority of the outrights for me come into play today, so I may just sit on them. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But who's up next? We got Pedro Martinez and George Loffhagen, or Loffhagen as they were calling them. It sounds super German, doesn't it? Probably because it is, so I don't know, who gives a shit. But anyway, getting the Brit here around 1.3 to get one done against Pedro Martinez. I quite fancy him to do it as well. I do. Thought he put in a solid enough performance against Ralia Pelka over in Eastbourne last week. And he looked fairly decent in qualifying too. He didn't drop a set. He even took a set off of Pelka. Like I said, it was a close game, 2-1. Could have went either way in the end. 2 tiebreakers. 3 sets. Pedro Martinez got one over Ugo Cobolli in the Boodles. That's the tennis challenge. Like I say, it's an exhibition. How much can you take from that? Prior to that, he was on a 5-game losing streak dating back to Rome in the start of May. Aye, it's not looking too good for old Pedro Martinez. We take this guy off the clay. He most definitely begins to struggle, and he went even too great on the clay this season either. He's went 1-2 on the grass. The Brits went 2-2. You'll most definitely have that extra something with the home crowd. Like I say, if you feel like he done enough against Ralia Pelka to get this one done against Pedro Martinez, although food for thought, I do think Pedro Martinez give Corentin Moutet a really, really good go. Probably the best go until he bumped into Talon Griekspoor. But I don't know. Experience most definitely goes with Pedro Martinez in this one, but 1.3, 1.4, that's a bit steep. That seems a little bit overpriced to me. I don't know. We'll see how he gets on. We could be in for just a little bit of an upset with Pedro Martinez there. Maybe not for the full match, but with it being a best of 5, you couldn't put it past him getting a set right. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not too sure. We'll leave that one there for today, and then we're making good time. But fuck me, we've still got quite a few left. Loads of these big favourites as well. We will speed run through them at the end. Just a quick reminder of that. We got Sebastian Ofner, Hamad Medjedovic. Oh, excuse me. It's got to be Hamad Medjedovic. Has it got to be? I don't know, man. I'm sorry, something's like sticking in me. 1 second. Sorry. I'd probably go with Hamad Medjedovic. I don't know. I still don't like what I've seen against Safiullin. Still think back to that game against Roman Safiullin. It was very, very worrying. I was happy he managed to get it done for me, but it wasn't very convincing. It was far from it at that. And then he bumped into Felix, took a set off him, and then it just unravelled rather swiftly after he'd done so. Sebastian Ofner's on a 2-game losing streak. It's not really much of a streak, is it? He lost first round over in Germany to Rublev after coming through qualifying, and then he had to pull out against Mariano Navone in qualifying for Mallorca. So how's he going to hold up in this? We don't really know. You've just pulled out in your last game. Fast forward not even a week, something like that. You've got to come and play someone like Medjedovic. I'd have to go with him. A little bit of cash coming in. I imagine that might drop overnight. 1.6 for Hamad Medjedovic today, folks. That is the price you're going to have to pay if you fancy a bit of that. You could be in for the over 3.5. We just could. Sebastian Ofner's no joke, especially on these quick courts. He could definitely do a bit of the business today. Flavio Cobolli and Bebet Zhukayev. Now, once again, we're getting Cobolli around 1.3, like the majority of the favourites today. And like the majority of these favourites today, that sits around 1.3. I don't know exactly how I feel about it. I know exactly how I feel about this one. I don't like it. And you don't need me to tell you why. We all watch Flavio Cobolli play Jacob Fernley. Even the fucking Seagulls were laughing at him. You know, it's just, he was so bad. And it's always so concerning when you see someone put in a performance like that, because there was no reason for it, really. Because we've seen Jacob Fernley play Marcus Garon the next day and get absolutely fisted. So, I don't know what you say about that, because prior to that as well, he was playing sound. He was in solid form ever since Clay's season. But then coming to the grass, he was fairly decent as well. He's went 2-2. It's not that bad. Zhukayev's went 4-2 on the grass. Hasn't really played an opponent ranked quite as high as the Italian, I will admit. But he's decent, man. He's a decent player. He's decent enough. 16-17 this year is probably not that decent, making a fool of me, really. 0-5 on the clay, doesn't like that. Hard court seems to be where he's done his business over the years. 3-3 on that. 8-7 indoors, 4-2 on the grass. Maybe things may be a little bit better for Zhukayev over on the surface. And maybe he's just running into Flavio Cobolli just at the right time. If he turns up and plays anything like what he did against Jacob Fairley in Eastbourne, he's in for a rough day, man. Once again, this guy is in for a rough one. I'd dread to think. Wouldn't be surprised to see Flavio Cobolli get upset today. Should be winning. He should be winning, but there's a lot of them that should have been winning, and there's a lot of them that just either didn't look interested or just got fucking worked into the ground. So, say Flavio Cobolli most definitely fits the profile for me. And who is next? Where are you? When it decides to load, got Gael Monfils and Hugo Humbert. Now, I couldn't help myself. You may have seen it in the pinned comments and went, what the fuck is this guy doing? But I just couldn't help myself. I seen Hugo Humbert to get to the quarterfinals at 6-1. And I just thought, why the fuck not? Just when you think he stands no chance, he just might. I don't mind, and I tell you what, if that comes in, happy days indeed. But he's got to get past Gael Monfils first. He's played each other 7 times, and he's managed to do it 5 times out of the 7. Twice of them have been in that ultimate tennis showdown, so that kind of pisses on it a little bit. They played each other once on the grass over in Wimbledon. That went the way of Hugo Humbert. First time they ever played, 2019. Probably quite irrelevant now. I'd say if you could beat Gael Monfils in 2019 in Wimbledon, you could probably beat him in 2015 now. Sorry folks, just a quick one there. It is unbearably hot over in fucking England this week, man. I think it's the hottest day of the year so far. Well, it has been unbearable, so yeah, has to go and fucking stand outside for a moment there. But where were we? Hugo Humbert. I think he gets it done against Gael Monfils. Safe say, I'm not going to say bang out of form, because you know what is form when it comes to Gael Monfils at the moment. I think it's safe to say Hugo Humbert is in better form than his fellow Frenchman. I just fancy him to get it done. I wouldn't be taking him 1.4. I mean, it's whatever. It's kind of what you'd expect. I do have him on an outright, so there's no point me fucking with him today. I'd rather just sit there and just hope for the best and see how far he can get me through the tournament. Gael Monfils in his last 10s beat Fabian Marozsan, Bonegosho, Hugo Delien. That's it. Beat by Mackenzie McDonald, Alex Michelsen, we all remember that, Jack Draper, Davidovich Fokina, Rublev, Hugo Humbert, ultimate tennis showdown. I think he gets it done today. I really do. Although he did get beat by Jensen Brooksby last time out. You know, in hindsight, these losses to Brooksby that people have been getting served up, they don't look too bad. They really don't look that bad at the moment, you know what I mean? But I'd expect Hugo Humbert to just look slightly better, slightly fitter, younger, better, harder, faster, stronger, all that stuff on the day. I'm open so anyway. We've got Alexander Kovacevic, Martin Fuscovics. Probably go with Martin Fuscovics in this one. Would I? Yeah, probably. Would I? Plays good on the grass. Plays fairly decent on the grass. He always really has as well. Went 6-2 this year. The American has went 1-3. I think the hard court is where Kovacevic does the majority of his business. He's a decent player too. He's a decent player. We've seen improvements. He can most definitely deal a bit of trouble the way of Martin Fuscovics in this one. I just feel like the experience may be too much. Fuscovics has been here time and time again. He's went 6-2 on the grass so far this season, man. It's decent. It's been fairly decent. He has had to come through Wimbledon, come through qualifying for this, and he didn't actually qualify for the tournament at all. Funnily enough, comes back in as a lucky loser, and we've all seen how these lucky losers operate over the previous tournaments, have we not? You see them in qualifying, you write them off because they can't even qualify for the tournament. They get another shot, and then next thing you know, they're in the fucking finals. Yeah, unbelievable. Shout out to Jensen Brooksby. But I think Martin Fuscovics is going to do it. Kovacevic didn't have to qualify for this one. He ended up getting beat by Bernard Tomic in qualifying for Mallorca. So I think it's safe to say both of them are definitely capable of putting in a bit of a shitter. I think you see it more often than not from Kovacevic than Martin Fuscovics. I think over 3.5 could come into play. Ultimately, I do think Fuscovics will be too much for him on the day, especially on the grass. You've probably just got to stick with what you know in a spot like that. We've got Comesana and Corentin Moutet. Good old Moutet. We were impressed with this guy last week. He put in some solid performances, did he not, over in sunny Mallorca until he got beat by Griekspoor in the final. And I don't know how, because going off that game yesterday, fuck me, that guy looked like shit. But how's Moutet going to look? How is Corentin Moutet going to look? It's a rough one, isn't it? Because you'll always use the excuse, oh, he's just got to the final, maybe he's not in the best of shape. Gabe Diallo looked great. Gabe Diallo looked great against Daniel Otmaier. Maybe he was always going to, but he didn't look like slowing down, even though he has played a hell of a lot of matches recently. But Griekspoor, Zizou Bergs, all them just look fucking well off it today. Is that going to happen to Corentin Moutet? Because you've been in the same spots, he's been in the same tournaments. I hope not. I'd like to think not. Comesana's on a 4-game losing streak, man, and we're getting him on the grass as well. He can you can spring a couple of upsets on the hard court here and there. On the clay is most definitely where you want to be taking the likes of Comesana, but we're not on the clay and we're on the grass, and he's played 5 games in his career and he's only won 2 of them. I like Comesana as well. He's a decent player, done some bits for us over here in clay season, but unfortunately I do think the first round is as far as he's going to get. It'll just come down to the fitness of Corentin Moutet. He possesses more than enough to get this one done. He beat Alex Michelsen, Lerner Tseng, Daniel Otmaier, Pedro Martinez, and then over in Queens, Taylor Fritz, Rinderknech, Bellucci. He's beaten well better players than Comesana, and much better players on the surface than Comesana too in the past couple of weeks. So I would imagine the Frenchman to get that one done with relative ease, providing he's good to go. But we'll wait and see. Jesus Christ, it's like fucking Barbados over here. Who have we got next? Big favourite. Oh, we're making good time here, folks. We'll sweep up all these tremendous, colossal, fucking gigantic favourites towards the end, and we'll pick off these ones here. We've got Etcheverry and Jack Pinnerton-Jones. I'd want to go with me boy. And he nearly got it done against Nuno Borges. He was this close. So close, but yet so far, as Frankie Valli would say. I think he can get it done against Etcheverry. He should beat Ben Shelton over in the Halingham exhibition. Is that much of a surprise? Because Ben Shelton's been playing like dump, hasn't he, the past few weeks? I don't know. He's playing today as well. We'll talk about that in a moment. Etcheverry on the grass. It's never very wise to back him. I wouldn't say it's very wise to back him. He has went 3-3. So far this year. He's already done better this season than what he's ever done. He's won more games this season as well than what he's done his entire career on the grass, so that's most definitely an improvement in itself. It's no secret to us, this guy does the majority of the damage over on the clay, and he has went 9-11 over on that. Will he do better on the grass? Probably not. There's not much time left to get yourself a solid record left, and I can't see him going on much of a run over in Wimbledon, unfortunately. That's even if he does get past Pinnerton-Jones, who is on a 3-game losing streak. Fuck me, I've just turned retarded. I'd love him to win. Like all the other Brits, he'll most definitely have the crowd behind him. 2.8. I mean, it's fine. I don't know. Maybe 1.4 for Etcheverry. Over 3.5. Over 3.5. We know he can surprise. We know he can come to play. He can take sets off people. We've seen him beat Rublev. Maybe that's, I don't know, you take from that. If you can beat Rublev, you can take at least a set off Pennington Jones. And I feel like if you can take a set off Nuno Bosch, you can most definitely take one off of Echeverri on the grass. I know, not a lot to go off really. But it is the first round. I can't wait to see the back of this one. We'll start going a bit deeper into these matches come round 2. You know how we do anyway. You know the score over here. But who have we got next? We've got Alexander Shevchenko and Riley Opelka. I would have to go with Riley Opelka in this one, providing I was to take it. But I probably won't, because we're getting Riley Opelka around 1.3. It's Alexander Shevchenko. It's nothing personal, but I mean, no, I haven't really paid much attention to this guy for the past 2 years. You know, there was a point in time where I thought Shevchenko most definitely could have been something, or turned out to have been something a lot more than what he is in the current day. Seems to have been reduced to somewhat of a challenger player over the past season or 2. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Riley Opelka, solid as you like. I don't have many great expectations for Riley Opelka, and that's not taking anything away from him, but he's won a lot more, and he's most certainly done a lot more and put in a lot more effort this season than I ever thought he would. So shout out to Opelka, fair play, mate. 22 wins, 17 losses on the season. You've got to give him some credit there. 6 wins, 4 on the grass. As opposed to Shevchenko, who's went 1 and 2 on the grass. Done most of the damage over on the clay. 21 wins, 24 losses. Yeah, they played each other earlier on in the season over in Dallas. That went the way of Riley Opelka. It was a tie-break in the first and 6-4 in the second. Now we've got a best of 5. There's always a possibility of someone dropping a set. You can never put it past any of them, really. Over 3.5 does always seem to be the safe way to go in these Grand Slams. That's just food for thought. I do think Riley Opelka should prove to be too much, providing he's fit, providing he's good to go, and he's got enough in the tank. He should be able to just serve this one out just the same way he does against everybody else. Why would Alexander Shevchenko be any different? I have no idea. It would have to be the big American in that one. And then I think we've got 2 more. And then we can start picking off the favourites. Sound, yeah. It may not take as long as what it did last night. But who cares anyway? We've got Dinky and David Goffin. Wow. You're giving us this last? Well, amongst the last of the lot. Well, it's not last, is it? The next 2 are well better, but I was going to say, talk about prime time matches. Head to head is 2-1 to David Goffin in this one. They played each other twice this year, 1 apiece this year, both of them in straight sets, and both of them have whipped the shit out of each other as well. Dinky got it done over in Adelaide, 6-1, 6-2, and then David Goffin over in Mexico, 6-2, 6-3. Say something about that. David Goffin did beat him in Winston-Salem last year as well, 6-1, 6-3. This is going to be a shit show, isn't it? This is going to be an absolute nightmare to predict. Getting Dinky around, well, depends. I'm seeing anywhere between 1.5 to 1.67. That's one hell of a drop. Betfair's got it at 1.67, and then Bet365 have got it at 1.53. That's fucking with me a little bit. I don't know who we would go for in this. Honestly, this is one of them matches that we'd never touch. We'd never go anywhere near a matchup like this. I wouldn't put a penny of my cash on this, even if I did. 3-game losing streak for Dinky, 4-game losing streak for David Goffin. It ain't looking good for either one. Dinky's went 15 and 21 on the season, 8 wins and 14 for David Goffin. Oh, what is this? What is this, man? What are you trying to get me to predict here? I have no idea. Just, I don't know, man. Flip a coin. Heads for Dinky, tails for Goffin. Flip it. There you go. There's your answer. Over 3.5. Primed. It's primed for over 3.5. Neither one of these is going to come out and drill the other easy as 1, 2, 3, as Michael Jackson once said. I'd be taking the over 3.5 sets in that, and I'd just be forgetting about it for the rest of the tournament. And then we'll crack on with the last one, and then we'll pick off the big ones. So we've got Ben Shelton and Alex Bolt. Good old Ben. Benley Ben. God, how's he gonna get on, man? How is he gonna get on? A quick question to anyone who knows, but what the fuck's going on with Ben Shelton? Anyone know? I'm asking you. Like, I have fucking no idea, man. I genuinely have no clue what has happened to Ben Shelton since Germany got to the semi-finals against Zverev, where he got beat by him again. We kind of knew that was going to happen, but ever since he got to the semi-finals, everybody was so convinced that this guy was just going to put Wimbledon on notice, and ever since he's broken to the top 10, he hasn't been able to win a set, never mind a game. Cause for concern? Slightly. I don't think it's panic stations yet. I don't think it's DEFCON time just yet for Ben Shelton, but this one will most definitely be the test, if you ask me. Arthur Rinderknech, Lerner Tien, and then Etcheverry in the exhibition are 3 since the Stuttgart semi-final. Worrying, very worrying. Alex Bolt did come through qualifying, dropping just the 1 set on the way to Elliot Spizzeri. I don't know, man. He's beat the Harold Mayo or Aiden Mayo. It'd be Harold, won't it? Yeah, Harold Mayo, Elliot Spizzeri, and then Martin Landelus in straight sets. Just quickly as well, because I'm looking at it, Martin Landelus whipped the shit. He bageled Lloyd Harris on the grass not that long ago, and them Zizou Bergs couldn't even beat him today. I know. I seen that and I was like, fuck me, Jesus Christ. It just made it a little bit more sour than what it needed to be. Ilkley challenger as well. We're getting off track. Ben Shelton, Alex Bolt. Ben Shelton's went 2-4 on the grass. Alex Bolt went 9-3. We're all more than aware of this lad's game over on the surface. Is he good enough to take out someone of the calibre and the prestige of Ben Shelton? Maybe not. Although, if you want to play Ben Shelton, what better time to play him than now, right? I feel like you're getting him at the perfect time. He is most definitely, well, he seems to be there for the taking on paper anyway, but we know Ben Shelton's only really one decent game away from getting back on track. And I do think Alex Bolt is just the calibre of opponent for him to do so. 1.3 for Ben Shelton. No, not after day one. Unfortunately, not after day one. That seems to be the price you're having to pay for someone, or pretty much everyone, to ruin your day. Over 3.5. Don't know. Do you think Bolt keeps it close? Take him on the spread. Ben Shelton hasn't been able to return for shit, has he? He's barely. Do we risk it? Do we take Bolt on the points? Do we take Bolt for a set? It probably won't seem that ridiculous of a choice in hindsight. I don't know, I'm just guessing. I don't know, my point being, I couldn't take Ben Shelton at 1.3 just based off what we've seen. Alright, Rinderknech, Zverev, Tien, Etcheverry, they're probably just a bit of a step up compared to an Alex Bolt. I'm not wrong in saying that, am I? Absolutely not, of course you'd agree. I think Ben Shelton wins because he should, but I'm not so convinced that he will. So just for the sake of what we do, I'd say over 3.5. I imagine with the odds being 1.2, you will get sweet odds for that over 3.5 sets. But I don't know, man. Do not be surprised if you trust in Alex Bolt today and he turns up and he just gets biffed by Ben Shelton. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. We're aware of the level, and we are more than aware of the player that resides within Ben Shelton when he turns up on the day. It's just if we're going to get it or not. And at 1.25, it seems like a little bit of a price to pay to roll a dice on that. So I'm afraid I'm out. I'm very well then. Speedrun time, folks. Speedrun time. Big favourite. So the reason I've left all these to the end, you shouldn't really need me to tell you really, but the prices on them are fucking ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. These should be illegal. Most of these 1.005. You're nearly losing money by betting on that, and it wins. It's just, yeah. But whatever anyway. Look, the main point being on stuff like this, with the odds being so crazy and so ridiculously short in one favour, your best bet is either going to be looking at it over, obviously the over 3.5 sets, the over games, or just look at one of, or just a couple of the dogs on the spread. Big dogs, big spreads, very low totals. There's multiple ways that you can approach these matches, but we'll speed run through them because realistically you don't need me, or you shouldn't need me to tell you. Like I said at the start, the majority of these should be getting it done. So just like we done yesterday, like I say, you want me to I would have sat there saying about, oh yeah, Daniel Medvedevic's going to do this, he does that, he always does this at Wimbledon, and he turns up and he looks like an absolute scrub. So I don't want to waste anyone's time more than I already do. So first off, we got Alex de Minaur. Roberto Carballo's Baena, head to head is 3-0 to the Demon, 1.01. Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. But it is what it is. This is what you've got to deal with early doors with games like this. 20-1 dog for Carballo's Baena. Any takers? It's worth a little flutter, isn't that? Now this is one of them spots where I say, you know what, just for the sake of the price, I couldn't talk it off any one of them. I really couldn't. Realistically, they probably shouldn't be winning, but that doesn't mean they all don't stand a chance. We've then got Tommy Paul at 1.05 against good old Johannes Monday. This is great. I'd love Johannes Monday to get this done. He's a Brit as well. He's a Brit. I thought he was South African, but yeah, good old Johannes. I'd love it. He should have had him playing yesterday. It would have been more fitting. But yeah, take him on the spread. You can like say, you take any of these. I'm not going to waste any more time on him. We're getting stuck. But Johannes Monday's playing Tommy Paul. Tommy Paul looked like buns, didn't he? He looked like absolute buns against Dan Evans. So I think it would be absolutely hilarious for him to turn up and get fucking pegged into the ground by Johannes. That name just makes me laugh. Johannes Monday. It's a hilarious name. That I'm all for him. Let's team Johannes. Let's get it. Who's next? Who have we got? Where are you? I've just seen him somewhere. Where is he? Let me just scroll back up. There he is. Got Mariano Navone and El Chapo. El Chapo 1.12. That's not an El Chapo price, is it? Look, it's Navone on the grass. More importantly, it's Navone not on the clay. So these are the prices that you get. It's kind of disrespectful. Navone does turn up, and he does give it his all. I'll give him that. He turns up and tries, which is all you can ask. El Chapo has just been, yeah, it just seems to have been disappointment after disappointment with El Chapo for quite some time now, for quite a few months, going back to mid-April anyway. It's probably even longer than that, but yeah, he's won 3 of his last 10. 3 of his last 10. Got that win over Hugo Humbert, first round in Germany. That was the only one. He's went 1-2 on the grass. Navone's went 1-1. Currently getting him around 1.12. Exactly. El Chapo 1.12. No, that's why it got lobbed in with all these big favourites at the end. And then we've got Quentin Hallis. And here's that August Holmgren, I think it is. Yes, it is. I seen someone mentioning Holmgren in the comments yesterday. I can't remember what they said. I'm pretty sure it was something about the spread, or maybe just have a look on the money line. I'm not too sure. But food for thought. Someone go and check. Or if you're watching this one, let me know what you said once again. Quentin Hallis, we kind of know what we're going to get on the day, but it's just, there's never any known for sure which version of Quentin Hallis we're going to get. He is on a 2-game losing streak. Holmgren has had to qualify for this, and it was anything but easy as well. He dropped a set in every one. He dropped 2 in the third and final one. But here he stands. He still remains. I imagine he'll most definitely, he's got nothing to lose, have you? Nothing to lose. Come through qualifying, just give it your best. Give it your best. Close your eyes up for the best. It's as hard as you can. Don't even think about it. Who else is next? Yannick Sinner, Luca Nardi. Oh God. Surely Yannick Sinner can't struggle can't struggle nowhere near as much as what some of these did yesterday. Surely. Now this is one of them, innit? Surely this is one of them. I thought it would have been with Alcaraz and Fabio Fognini. That's one of them matches where the sky would have to fall in order for them to get beat. Jannik Sinner 1.01. What am I even talking about it for? Anyone taking Nardi on the points? Let me know. Anyone taking the over? Let me know. Probably not, right? Unless it's just a pure vibe gamble and you're just doing it for the fun of it. Why the fuck not? You've got money to burn. But please do let me know. I imagine Jannik Sinner should be good to get through that one. I imagine he's going to get himself to the final, or at least there roundabouts. The draw's already kind of blown open a little bit today, and depending on how Taylor Fritz and Zverev get on when they resume tomorrow, I don't know, we'll see. We shall see. Then we've got Thomas Mahac, Demir Juma, 1.16 for Thomas Mahac. Quite the price to pay for someone who tends to be a little bit inconsistent, a little bit more inconsistent than what I may like to admit sometimes. But yeah, there's that one. We've then got Marin Cilic and Rafael Collignon. Marin Cilic at 1.1 seems so wrong in so many ways to me. I quite like Collignon as well. I don't think he's up to much on the grass. I think he most definitely prefers the clay. But I don't know, we'll see how we can get on. At Dimitrov, Nishioka, I would always be going with Dimitrov just because. I mean, Nishioka, when was the last time he actually finished a match qualifying for Hal? I mean, prior to getting beat by Yannick Hanfman in qualifying, he pulled out of his last 3 games prior to that. So yeah, I don't know. It'd be Dimitrov. He's on a 3-game losing streak as well. We haven't seen him since the first round of the French Open. He had to pull out against Ethan Quinn. Maybe he's good to go. The fact that he's here would suggest to me that he's fit and ready to throw down. So, fully expecting Dimmy to come out victorious in that one. Djokovic, Alexander Muller. It's got to be Djokovic, Yanni. Next, Marcus Giron, Hugo Carabelli. Marcus Giron at 1.05. He absolutely smacked the shit out of Jacob Fairley, so I don't know why he wouldn't do more of the same to the likes of Hugo Carabelli. Next, Jakob Mensik against Hugo Gaston. Now, Mensik's 1.08. Now, this is one that I may not necessarily agree with. Hugo Gaston is a bit like Corentin Moutet on the day. He's very tricky. Very, very tricky indeed. Never done anything on the grass, really. Anything to write home about, that's for sure. Jakob Mensik's still a bit wet behind the ears. I've been saying all of this month. I still feel he's yet to find his feet over on the grass. So 1.08 seems to be a little bit crazy to me when we're dealing with Mensik, but maybe he just should be getting it done. Maybe he should be favoured that much. Who the fuck cares? Who knows? And then 2 more. Dead quick. We've got Binach against Bu. I'd probably go with Binach because he's quite good on the grass, and I probably would stay away from Bu because it's becoming quickly apparent to me that if we're not on the hard court, I say if we're not on the hard court, he was crap on that this year, but we've still got the rest of the season. We've still got half a season pretty much left to play on the hard court, so we may be able to pick it up once we come indoors once again. But he was great on the hard court last year. A bit 50-50, a bit dump on the clay. Nowhere near as efficient on that. And then he has went 0-2 on the grass this year. Binach has went 4-2. He's just much more trustworthy. Just a better player. Much better form. Probably going to get a lot more out of him on the day, if you think about it. And then wrapping it up, because this one has been a little bit longer than the last one, just when I thought it wasn't going to be. But I don't know, they'll definitely get shorter and shorter from here on now, so you can guarantee that. We've got good old Jack Draper. We've got our boy Jack Diesel, Jack Paper, whatever you want to call him. Against Sebastian Baez, good old Javi Baez. Now, you don't need me to tell you that Jack Draper should be getting this one done. Against Sebastian Baez today, they've played each other twice before, and Jack Draper's won both of them in straight sets, and they've both been more than convincing. Never played each other on the grass, so that will make it a little bit more interesting. Sebastian Baez, we're not on the clay. So you probably can't really go against them. We'll just stick with that formula. My only concern for Jack Draper, it's not much of a concern. it would have to. This is another one. The sky would have to fall in order for this to fuck up today. But I have got him to reach the quarterfinals. We all know the draw is horrendous for him. I know, I've seen it. There's been people in the comments. I checked it out. He's got usually got to, providing he'll get through. Is it like Alexander Bublik and then Djokovic, something in the quarters? I don't know. We'll assess that situation near the time. But I don't think it's panic stations yet for Jack Draper. I don't think it's time to worry just yet for our boy. If anything, he should most definitely be getting past Sebastian Baez today, and you know it for sure. I would be absolutely gobsmacked and devastated if Sebastian Baez was to pull off the upset. This would be the upset of all upsets, in my opinion, folks. You approach it however way you want. I've got him on outright. 1.01 is absolutely disgusting. But maybe it's a testament to what the result may just end up being when all is said and done. I'm going to sit on the outrights for today. If there's anything I fancy, it'll be in the pinned comment. But if not, like I say, the majority of them do come into play today. Alcaraz got it done. I've got Jack Draper. I've got Hugo Humbert. I've got Djokovic. I've got Jannik Sinner. So, for the sake of an easy life, I may just sit off these, and I might just ride on the outrights and sit there and enjoy these games while I can. Be sure to let me know what you're going for. Appreciate that, as always. And of course, I appreciate you stopping by, taking the time to watch these. These have taken the piss the past 2 days, I admit. But what are you going to do? It's Wimbledon, innit? Special occasion and whatnot. Well, very well, folks. I'll be saying good night to you. You take it easy. You take care of yourselves. And you take care of one another. That is the most important thing, of course. Like and subscribe, yeah. Like and subscribe. It's the second most important thing. But I'll see you in a bit, yeah. Enjoy the matches today. Don't be going too crazy. It's still the first round. We've still got to see who wants to be here and who doesn't. More importantly, who deserves to be here and who doesn't. Let's say that. It's a bit more positive. And on that note, see you in a bit, folks. Enjoy the matches today. Jack Draper squad. Where are we? Back in action, back in full effect. Let's go get it, yeah. See you tomorrow.